Hi everyone, how are we doing today? Great. Awesome. So I think after that energized talk, I'm sure you're not asleep. Even if you are, if you're feeling lazy, just wake your neighbors up because we are going to talk dirty. Right? So today I have this honor and privilege to speak to all of you about the road that I have opted to travel upon. But I'm not sure how many of you would be happy to know if I say I opted to work for shit. Right? So toilet is not a very beautiful word as such. Everyone poops, everyone pees. It's a natural thing, right? But we don't really want to talk about it. We are very conservative when we want to, speak about toilets. So also the history that we have, it also suggests that thousands of years ago, our ancient civilizations were more mature. They were more knowledgeable about the benefits of safe sanitation and safe disposal of waste. But I think from there on, we have just degraded. The thing is that we have been innovative enough to design and create more fancy words about the whole process, where even if we want to use a toilet in our families, in our societies, we would rather say, let me go and freshen up, right? Or where's the washroom? Where's the restroom? So all of these are very fancy words. But what do we end up doing there? Taking a dump. And that's shit, that's dirty. So what's the problem? Why do we have to create taboos around the whole process? Why can't we speak about it openly? So I think given that background, you would be interested to know how did I end up here working on this concept. So I guess most of the times in our life, many a times we are confused about following professional excellence or following or achieving personal fulfillment. So when we talk about professional excellence, when we want to achieve professional excellence, we are most of the times following conventionalism. Where through conventionalism, what we do, what is expected of us. We do what the society expects us to do, right? And many a times when we do that, when we are in a profession that we don't like, we are stuck in it, we feel lost. Many a times we do it out of compulsion, sometimes out of circumstances. It could be out of anything, But if we are doing that, most of the times we feel confused, we feel lost. Many times we feel like underpaid, underutilized. There could be many feelings attached to it. But if we do the other thing, where all of us have great talent, we have great potential. If we do what we love, the whole game is flipped on its head, right? So even if we don't get paid for some time, we don't mind. I know it might sound cliche to you, but I'm speaking from my experience itself. Imagine it's something like an experience, it's the journey, it's something like jumping off from a cliff, or maybe you can compare it with skydiving if some of you have done it. You don't know if you're going to jump, you're scared as shit. But when you jump, you don't know when the parachute is going to open. But once it opens, it is the most blissful experience of your life. It is the experience that you would cherish for your lifetime, right? So that is what the personal fulfillment is all about. So I also did what was expected of me, what the society expected of me, but I still remember as a teenager, I was a very stubborn teenager. And my father used to tell me that there's one thing that I really love about you, and that is, if you really want something, you go all out for it. You never give up. And inherently, I believe I have been like that. But also looking at the kids and the teenagers, I guess, given a chance, most of the kids and teenagers are like that. Where given a chance, they would like to have the things that they love. They would like to follow the things that they do, right? So, but how are they able to take those decisions in the first place? I guess because they follow their heart and they don't really focus on the process, they are rather focused towards the goal or towards the end result of what they're going to achieve. And as I said, inherently I have been like that right from the start. Most of the decisions that I took in my life have been because I followed my heart. So, following conventionalism, I did what was expected in early 2000s, late 90s, what was expected out of every kid mostly, to get an engineering degree and land up a software job. I did that. And I did well, but all of that time through my engineering, through my software days, I was very confused, I was lost. I didn't know a thing about what was happening around me. So the next step was probably get an on-site opportunity and earn a lot of dollars. So dollars are good, right? It could have been good. A lot of my friends have them. So, but I thought that that would not do justice to my career. So probably the next logical step for every dissatisfied engineer would be to go for an MBA, right? I did that. I also did that. And in the process, I applied for IRMA. So mind you, that's not NIRMA, it's IRMA. It's Institute of Rural Management, Anand. And when I was selected, I was called to the campus for an interview. And while I was there, I really fell in love with that campus. And the most famous question at IRMA interview is, why IRMA? Because it's a different domain altogether. It's not a regular MBA, right? So I think I answered something that obviously pleased the panel, and that's why I was selected. But primarily, I believe that I selected joining IRMA was the fact that I loved the campus. And it was really a turning point in my life, where through the courses that were offered or through the trainings that were offered, I got to discover myself. I discovered that I actually wanted to be a social entrepreneur, where I wanted to develop products that could positively impact the lives of millions of people living in underserved communities. So I tried a few things. I also did a few jobs after graduating into the sector. And meanwhile, after a few jobs, I also ended up in our family business of manufacturing. And I failed at it miserably, I must admit. So that was probably the most difficult period of my life, where the circumstances were not in control, and I failed at it. Something was missing. It's not that I was not working hard, but something was missing. So I think while dealing with that failure, I was taking a road trip with my family, and that's where I realized that there is a real shortage of public toilets in India. And wherever the public toilets are available, they are either filthy, unhygienic, or vandalized, especially along the roadsides. And it becomes an embarrassing situation for the female members, especially. So that's where I thought that, yeah, someone has to do that job. If the government has not been able to do it, someone has to do that job. And during that time as well, another thing happened that in the manufacturing business that I was into, we did a telecom project. And in that telecom project, we were doing enclosures which pretty much resembled portable toilets. So that's where I think if we are able to manufacture these enclosures, why not portable toilets? So that thought was in my mind. And similar time, Swachh Bharat mission was launched. That was another trigger for me to assume that obviously there is a business opportunity, right? So meanwhile, while we were working on that, we also did some primary research. And there was many grave data points that actually came across. 2015, when the Swachh Bharat mission was in its initial phase, roughly half of the global open defecators were in India. That's like 600 million people defecating in the open were in India. And because of that, there are a lot of diarrheal diseases that generate. It degrades the environment. And about 800 children used to die every day globally because of these diarrheal diseases. These are very saddening data points, And that's where I took a call, okay, I am going to stick to it. I am going to build toilets. And I am going to be in the sanitation industry. So mind you, sanitation industry is not a very lucrative industry. Sanitation industry, there are not many takers for it. Not many people would want to be in a situation where they are working for toilets or in the sanitation industry. But wherever I go, I introduce myself as the CEO of Gulf Toilets, right? And along with that dirty word, we have prefixed a word which essentially means pride and dignity. So that's our main mission, where we want to talk about toilets with pride and dignity, right? So, and it is the same moment I recalled where I was taking a road that is less traveled. I recalled saying that Dr. Kurian used to say. He is the founding father of greatest institutions like Amul, NDDB, and our institute IRMA, where he once said that we have traversed a road that few have dared to, and we will continue to follow this path that few have the courage to, right? So that again made up my mind to continue on this journey. Over the past few years, the first initial 2.5, 3 years were a real struggle, where in 2015 when we introduced indestructible and smart toilet, which is a public toilet, and which could be monitored on real time for maintenance through IoT, as you just knew. So through IoT we were maintaining and monitoring the usage and the maintenance of toilets, so that we are able to track and maintain it. So at that point of time when we reached out to the network, what we found was that a lot of people told us this is not going to work in India, right? It's something that will not work. A lot of people rejected, but there were a few beautiful souls who introduced us to the larger ecosystem, where we were able to develop a network. We also participated in a lot of competitions, a lot of accelerator programs, where our solution was awarded. Our solution was awarded, and we came to know that this idea is actually worth. This idea is actually worth pursuing. So we kept at it. After about 2.5, 3 years of struggle, I think we were able to turn this thing around, where we got to work with a lot of CSRs, reputed NGOs, and last year we got an opportunity to work with a lot of government departments as well under the Swachh Bharat mission. We have also done a lot of work in international geographies with the same product, and I believe after the appreciation at the global level, as they say, we also, I was invited to have lunch with the ex-CEO of Unilever Global at London in his office. So sitting with him in his office, having lunch and discussing the solution and discussing the opportunities is one of the moments that I would cherish for my life. That was with Mr. Paul Coleman. And just earlier this month, we were awarded at the Global Maker Challenge in Russia as the best solution in sustainable cities out of 1,200 projects across the globe. And I guess this award was done through the ruler of Dubai, and the event was presided by the president of Russia. And eventually what happened was that our honorable vice president also tweeted about it and congratulated us on it. So, I mean, what else would you want? What else would you want? So this is something, as they say in Hindi, कि ख्वाब देखोगे तो मुश्किलें तो आएंगी, पर वो मंजर खूबसूरत होगा जब आपकी कामयाबी शोर मचाएगी. Awards and recognitions aside, I think there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. We have been incubated, as we are a startup, we have been incubated now through IIT Kanpur. And but I'm still not sure that how many of you, management graduates would be willing to join a company that has a toilet attached to it. So, but that is the thing that we're trying to work for. Yeah, but I believe that if I have been able to nudge a few fence-sitters who would want to work towards the real problems that the world faces today, I guess my talk would have been successful. So thank you, and as I end my talks with the hashtag, let's get the crap done.